I don't know how the only reason the Hawks made it or beat the 76ers is because the 76ers are a joke of a franchise and Ben Simmons is overrated. All right. And Joel Embiid just wasn't good enough to carry the team by himself.
He was also injured, don't forget.
And he was injured, and you think a trio of Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid versus Trae Young and the Hawks would be like 4 games, but Ben Simmons cannot show up in the playoffs. Who knows what's going to happen to Ben Simmons, if he's getting traded or not. There was a post I remember Dwight Howard. He said, like, why is everyone hating on Ben Simmons? Let's give him some love. We'll be back stronger next year. And I'm like, yeah, it's easy for you because you're on the team for 1 year. You haven't been a fan. You haven't been on the team for 6 years, 5 years. You don't know the struggle that team's been through. So Philadelphia 76ers, pretenders.
But mostly it's Philly that lost this series. Mostly. Yeah. The only thing with Philly is if Ben Simmons if Trae Young is under the basket and Ben Simmons literally running at him, like, you can't pass, just go for the dunk. Like, you're right there. Like, Ben Simmons literally shot four shots in the game 7, like 3 shots. Like, you can't, you can't have 5 points in a game 7 and be a superstar. You won't win like that.
He's not a superstar.
Exactly.
He's not.
I was watching the game for the Sixers Atlanta game 7. No one could shoot threes on Philly except Seth Curry. No one else. They're down 6 and they needed a 3. Everyone knew the ball was going to Seth Curry. Joel Embiid, he can shoot, but not really. Like, if you needed a 3, like,
what about? I didn't watch it. Why did it not go to Harris?
Because the thing with Harris is he went for the layup. Like, he was missing but he couldn't make a layup at the end. Like, Tobias Harris is a really good player, but this guy couldn't make a layup. Like, so I was like, oh, the ball's going to Seth Curry, but it's just they're not good. Ben Simmons, okay, he can play defense, right? You can play defense. But he did shut down Trae Young. But to be you can't just have what's the point of having only a defender? Like, at that point, go get PG, go get Andre. Like, he's getting paid to be like a point guard that can score, like, get easy buckets. Like, go get your buckets. You're 6'10", and like, you're like,
not true. He should be an incredible defender against point guards, but he's
exactly.
He's kind of subpar.
Exactly, but like, he's got to score you have to score the ball. Like, if you want to be a superstar, you have to score the ball.
To show up.
And right? Doc Rivers didn't call him out, but
his team did. Joel Embiid called him out.
Yeah, I saw that. But the interview asked the interviewer asked Doc Rivers, and he was like, "Oh, can Ben Simmons be the point guard on a championship team?" And Doc Rivers said, "Well, I don't know yet." Like, he said, "I know." And also, Embiid called him out. Embiid was like, "Oh, we missed." Yeah. If you're under the basket, you don't pass that. Like, go for the bucket. And the thing with Philly, they're pretty good defensive team, right? They have Thibault, who's a really good defender, but he can't really score either. Ben Simmons is a really good defender, but can't score. Like, so you only have 3 players that can score: Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, and Joel Embiid. Embiid was injured. Like, when he gets the ball, it's mostly ISO. Seth Curry is only a spot-up shooter, and Tobias Harris will go in, and if he's not getting his buckets, they're not doing well. So, I feel like we're talking too much about Philly. Let's move on.
All we got to say is, listen, fuck Philly, figure it out. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Ben Simmons, you're 6'10", okay, and you move like a point guard, and you can defend, but you can't score.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't be 6'10", and you're 6'10". You're supposed to be a good defender. You're 6'10". You're facing guys who are 6', 6'1", 6'2". All right? You already outmatched him. And he's shifty. He's not like a center. He can move.
Yeah, exactly.
So he should be able to be scoring on point guard. Mismatch. Like, get in the paint. Get loose around the court. Find an open get open, you know? But he can't score. And I don't know. I feel like if you can get a smaller guy who can shoot threes, and who's a point guard and who could play defense, you know who'd be great on this team? I mean, Chris Paul, of course, but Rondo would be great on this team.
Rondo would be good on this team for sure.
Move the ball. Just get a shooter. I know Rondo's not the best shooter, but his basketball IQ's through the roof, and I feel like him and Embiid would work. But if you can get a guy who could shoot threes and dish it to Embiid, like, that's all you need. Embiid's a superstar in this league.
Exactly.
He's one of the best centers.
Embiid, as a center, he has the most. Yeah, he has the most.
He can take over a game. You don't need to separate. You don't need to move the ball so Harris, Simmons, and Embiid all get equal touches, right? It should be Embiid's your superstar, feed him the ball, and then you got a reliable point guard who can shoot threes when they're open and dish and whatever, who can score.
Yeah.
Because if Ben Simmons can't score, Tobias Harris having bad games, Joel Embiid can't do everything. He can't shoot. He's a center.
And the only thing with the thing with this team too is, can't forget, this is the trusted process team. This team intentionally tanked to get top picks.
Yeah.
And they got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. They also got like bad players like Jahlil Okafor, Nerlens Noel. So this, like, you don't trust, like, you never like to see a team tank for top picks and then get them, right? No one likes to see that team like get rewarded. Like, you as a sports team, like, you don't want to tank, and they intentionally tanked. Yeah. So, and it's just something about the franchise. Like, Philly, they have a pretty good winning culture, but it's just something about like Ben Simmons. Like, they talk a lot too. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid talk a lot, and I don't think Ben Simmons has the right mentality to lead a franchise, and he just
and he's playing in Philly. He's playing in Philly. So those fans, like, it's not the Utah fans.
Exactly, they have bright lights for sure there.
Like, they want to win. They're a big franchise, and when your star point guard doesn't show up, I don't know what they're gonna do. I cannot see them saying we are going into another year with these three, and we're gonna add role players or whatever, try and make it work. It's not that. It's not the role players. You can fill as many role players. You're still gonna lose if Ben Simmons is playing like that.